Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our weekly evening meditation. I'm Reverend Rob Nashak. I am the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development. And once again, I'm delighted that you are here to spend a few minutes of time in the stillness where we can collect ourselves and then reflect ourselves back into the world once we leave this evening. If you are watching on our YouTube live, please remember to like this video and to subscribe to our channel so that you can receive notices of when we are going live again with any of our events. And as you may know, we use these beautiful oracle cards called the Earth Magic Oracle cards. And we use these cards to just guide our meditation, guide our thoughts, and guide our message for the week ahead. So as always, we will shuffle the cards, and I will shuffle them here, and you can add your energy by lifting your hands up to your own camera or just closing your eyes and envisioning your energy going into these cards. I will choose the card off of the top so that you can all see that I've chosen the card that I've shuffled, but that we all can see. And then we'll read a little bit from the book, and we will move on through our meditation. So without further ado, let us get started. I'm going to move myself up to the cards, or to the camera, so that you can see me shuffling. I'm a terrible shuffler, but you can see that I'm doing it, and that you can just put your hands up. If you are there, just add your energy, however you would like to add your energy. The card that we are drawing this evening is, drumroll please. Oh, beautiful. So our card today is New Moon. The word is promise. So I'm going to put the card down, and I'm going to let you guys take a look at it closely in another camera so that you can begin to absorb this card, what it has in it, and what it means for you as you glance at that card. So this beautiful card of New Moon. And so take a look at the card, gaze at the card, absorb the card so that we can remember it in the meditation and we can be guided by its message of promise. Here we go. Gazing at the sliver of the new moon, smiling down upon them, the couple embraces each other, welcoming the promise of their love. The fading sun drapes the clouds and waters with its tinge of luminescence as the crescent opens its arms to the nearby planet Venus, named after the Roman goddess of love. This is a time for manifestation, beginnings, and renewal, with the promise that our desires will come to fruition. Here, Grandmother Moon initiates another lunar cycle, moving from darkness to fullness and back again over approximately 1 month. Her promise of what is to come is embedded in the first glimmer of her light as she emerges from behind the curtain of darkness that had recently encompassed her. It is a promise that has been kept for as long as she has existed. This is the time to launch a project, a new relationship, or renew something that has been put aside for a later date. With your intention and willingness to follow a full cycle to complete itself, that which you desire will manifest. The seed of that idea is ready to emerge from the darkness of your subconscious into your full awareness. The next step is to put into action what is required to fully realize this idea. A promise has two meanings. It can be a commitment or guarantee to yourself or someone else that a particular thing will happen, or it can imply that something specific is expected to happen. When your will is aligned with the will of spirit and your intention is focused upon what you wish to have happen, there will be fulfillment, and the promise is kept. So just a few thoughts about our card of new moon and promise. We're well into spring, so we are well into this time of renewal and rebirth. And so how appropriate that this is the card that we have drawn for this evening. So I invite us all as we begin to relax. We haven't laid back yet, or we haven't gotten totally comfortable yet, but just before we do, think about those promises that you've made to yourself, either silently, even subconsciously. And let's bring a promise to our consciousness, one that we know that we can keep, one to ourselves. And I invite us tonight to not make a giant promise with expectations that can be met, or that can't be met, I should say, but one that allows us all to easily fulfill that promise, so that when we do, we can make another one that builds on that promise and continue to move forward more and more and more. So tonight we'll take some time to relax. We will take a journey this evening. We will allow our breath to anchor our bodies to the earth plane while we allow ourselves to fly into the ethereal plane and to see what messages it has and what the source has for each of us when we get there. And so we know now that our theme is promise. We've got the vision of a new moon as the start of this cycle, this ebb and flow of life. And so now let us take a moment to relax. Let us get as comfortable as we can wherever we are. So if that's lying down, you want to make sure that you make it as difficult as possible to drift off to sleep. However, if you do, just allow the words to sink into your subconscious as you slowly slumber. I would bet that that slumber is actually a sleep that is absorbing the meditation and the guidance and the message for tonight. And so you want to keep, if you're laying down, you want your neck propped up perhaps, and maybe your legs under your knees and perhaps underneath the small of your back. And if you're sitting, you want your back against the back of the chair. You want to have a nice straight spine, but comfortable. And you want your hands to be relaxed in your lap and open to receive. Your feet are planted on the floor, relaxed. And we are alert. As we relax, we remain alert and aware of all that is happening. There's no right or wrong way to get to this state, and the state is really the one that you choose for yourself. So if you can just go easy on yourself, be kind to yourself wherever you go, even if it's full of chatter, is wherever you are. Just allow yourself to work with whatever you see or hear or feel when you get there. And so we start, as we always do, by becoming aware of our breath. And that's just how it feels as it comes in and out of our bodies. So we inhale and we exhale. And we inhale again. And we exhale. And we inhale another time. And we exhale. Now we're still feeling our breath. We're feeling it enter through our nose. And during that pause, we feel it reach every inch of our bodies, every corner, every cell. It goes throughout our veins and arteries, pumping through the heart, that breath. And we feel its invigoration. We feel its life force, like we've been electrified from the inside. And we feel it transform and nourish us as we then exhale that breath. This process that I've taken words to describe is one that our body does naturally. But again, I just invite us to become aware of it as it goes through. Aware of the restoration and cleansing that takes place with each breath that we inhale. We allow to fill our bodies and that we exhale. So now at your own pace, just inhale and exhale. And each time you are feeling more and more relaxed. You are free from any discomfort in your body. And at any time during this meditation, if you need to readjust that comfort, just make your shift and come on back. Inhaling and exhaling each breath, a relaxation. And now, as we exhale, I want you to imagine your physical self as if it were in the movie Invisible Man, The Invisible Man. And so with every exhale, you begin to fade away, your physical self, more and more. Inhaling and exhaling, more and more disappears, but it stays right where it is etherically. You're just releasing your body into the etheric plane. The tones take you deeper and deeper. For as you've entered this plane without body, you realize the opportunity to go deeper into your being. deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. More and more. And as the tone disappears, we find ourselves feeling very comfortable in this place that is dark, but is also safe and warm. We are relaxed of spirit. We think only of this state of serenity or equilibrium, supreme comfort, supremely relaxed. And as we're here in this darkness, we begin to sense a light. Piercing through that darkness right ahead of us. We realize that right ahead of us is the horizon of a place that is in our dreams. And that horizon gets brighter and brighter as the light comes up, illuminating the sky. We can see the dawn breaking, the mists of the clouds above us. And suddenly we sense the sound and smell of the sea in front of us. It's so gentle, this beautiful dawn that breaks over the sea. As we feel the warm breeze blow through us. And we realize that this dream is of the card that we had been gazing upon before we started. We are inside, sitting on that beach, in the sand that has been somewhat dampened by the dawn, or by the night before it, by the cool, moist air. We start to dig our toes into that sand. notice, before the sky lightens, the sliver of that moon, that new moon. And we're so glad that we caught it before the sun comes up, because that moon reminds us of our own possibilities, our own opportunities as the dawn breaks for us. It begins a new cycle for us. One that will bring to fruition a simple promise that we have made to ourselves. And as we sit here watching the sky and watching the sun and watching that new moon fade, we are aware that we are in the cycle as the sun breaks. And here, in the safety of this dreamlike beach and ocean and sand and dawn, we remember that promise to ourselves. It was a promise made in kindness, a promise made with love for ourselves. It's a promise that we knew that we could and that we would keep. And in this dream space of beach, where we see the sun and the ocean and the sand and feel the breeze and hear the waves, the promise is there for us. And the promise appears before us as a luminous, glittering cloud. It rises from our heart as this cloud. It seems to speak to us. It seems to ask of us. That we choose to accept it completely. It speaks to us wordlessly. It reminds us of the exchange that we made with it. It tells us that it is waiting to be manifest. And it tells us that we hold the key by intending its manifestation. And that cloud begins to dance in front of us. Its own spirit, like a happy apparition. We sense what it can do for us. We sense how its fulfillment can move us forward in our lives. And without hesitation, we wind up a huge breath to be drawn. And in this ethereal place, we take a breath that completely absorbs this dancing and glittering cloud of promise into our soul, into our being, everywhere in our being, becoming part of us. Aligning with everything in us that can bring it forth and make it greater than we ever thought it could be. As it fills us, as we absorb it, we feel its power. We feel our own power and our own magic to bring that promise to life. A life that nourishes us as it nourishes the promise. We begin to feel ourselves glow with the luminescence of colors of the sun, and the twinkling and white-hot white of the stars. And the reflection of the prism of crystals. All of these expressions of color become part of our essence. And the promise reminds us, as it absorbs into our essence, that we called it forth, knowing that we could manifest it, knowing that our lives would be better with that promise made manifest. It brings to us the confidence and the will and the inspiration to fully intend it into being. And as we allow ourselves to be nourished and energized by this power to bring to fruition this beautiful idea that we've had, this agreement, this promise, we know that we can return to our earth bodies with the determination, with the tenacity, with the inspiration of our imagination to bring it and everything that is best for us in our lives to being. And so with this promise absorbed into our being, and with our being having received it and accepted it, we begin to become aware of the breath from our bodies that has allowed us to take this journey together. And we suddenly feel the air coming through our nostrils again and filling our physical bodies. Each time we inhale, we feel that body rematerializing little by little. With every inhale, it comes back more and more. More and more with every breath, we find ourselves returned to our physical self that is relaxed and energized and expectantly anticipating our opportunity to employ our own magic to bring that promise to being on this plane with us and for us. And as we feel our breath coming in and out, inhaling and exhaling, feeling healed and inspired. The beach has drifted away, but we remember it in our mind's eye as the place that we promised to ourselves. The life, the experiences, and the being that we desire. And as the final tone disappears, we feel that breath. Our eyes stay closed. We keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And on the last breath, let us open our eyes together. So we've returned from our journey to the beach, where we can remember that warmth and that beauty, and that breaking dawn, that new moon, as it disappears and embarks us on our cycle for this month to bring our desires to fruition. once again, I thank you for being here this evening. I have so enjoyed, as I always do, taking this journey with you, keeping my own promise to myself and to you. A few things to remind you of. We have our Spirit Share Saturdays coming up with Reverend Fran Wright. Coming up this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2, she will be taking everybody on a deeper dive into longer intuitive readings. For those of us who at one time thought we could never read for longer than a couple of minutes, Reverend Fran's going to help us tap into other parts of our possible clients' lives to create a fully realized and fully expressed reading for them. So please join her this morning, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Of course, on Sunday, we have our celebration service, and we have Reverend Sherry Four, who will lead the service this Sunday, followed by our ISD DC Board of Trustees meeting. And so that takes place after the service. ISD members are welcome to attend, and the link will be posted. So please join us as we make decisions for the church as it unfolds from this period of pandemic into the future. And lastly, next week at this time, I'm delighted that we are returning to our spiritual screen share. And this is by the popular demand of the first one, because we had scheduled it to take place on the months of the year that have 5 Wednesday evenings on that last Wednesday evening. And we got so excited about what we were watching that everybody said that I could not possibly wait for another 2 months to have another one so that we can continue watching and absorbing and talking about a most delightful situation comedy called The Good Place that ran on NBC for several years and recently ended its run in, I think, of January of 2020. So it's about the afterlife, it's about philosophy, and it is about who we are while we are living both here and in spirit. So please join us next Wednesday at 7:30. If you didn't see the first, we watched 3 episodes. If you didn't see any of it, we'll catch you up quickly. If you get a chance to watch it on Netflix, please watch it and join us. Or just join for the conversation that we hope can be spurred, or the delight of the comedy and the questions that the philosophy of the show brings. So that's next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. I will bid you all good night, and please stay safe. Here in Washington, D.C., it is now raining and it's a little chilly. So please stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, and we will look forward to seeing you again right here. Have a good night.